Hey guys, welcome. I'm Catherine, and this is Little Bits of Heaven Homestead. I should have actually checked my audio. I hope that my audio works. I'm wearing a microphone, so if you guys could pop on and tell me if you can hear me okay, I would appreciate that. So I'm actually doing something a little scary for me. If you guys have been following me for a while, I started with Julie like 2 years ago on Dirt Patch Heaven, had no intention of being on videos. And we would couple up, we would do these dual videos where she and I would have conversations back and forth. That's part of why I love this live format. Oh, hey, I've got 2 viewers. Can somebody tell me if you can hear me okay? It's Bria. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad to see you, kiddo. I love you so much. And in fact, I hope you stick around. Okay, thank you for telling me that. So, how are you doing, baby? I've been thinking a lot about you. I know we talked earlier, but crazy times, right? And I'm sure that I'm talking to my daughter on here because she's on here. Hey, Tom, welcome. Hey, Darlene, Mike, welcome. Thanks for joining me. So in fact, I'm going to have a conversation with my daughter here. She says she's doing good considering the circumstances. So this is new for me. This is new for her. She's an adult out doing her adult thing. And I'm a mom of an adult out doing her adult thing in the midst of a pandemic. Holy crap, guys. So not only am I concerned about my personal household, but I've got kids out there in the world. And I know I'm not unique in that situation. We've all got family members, we've got those that we love, and we're isolating slash quarantining, and we're facing something unprecedented, and there's a lot of fear. There's a lot of fear out there, guys. I wish I had words of wisdom to be like, it's gonna be okay. But we're being told by our government that we need to kind of buckle down and be prepared for a really bumpy ride, and it's probably gonna be scary. We don't get told that often as Americans. We've got this kind of cushy, secluded life where we're well taken care of and pampered, and so this is weird. Holy crap, my lighting's terrible. I should go close that. Should I go close that curtain? So it's really hard not being able to be with our kids and even my mom. I miss her and do talk to her. Right, Darlene? Yeah, my parents are here in town. My mom she's got frail health and I'm afraid to go visit her. This has been such a weird experience because even those of us that consider ourselves hermits, we're all so interconnected as society. I miss hugging people. Weird as that sounds, I don't even like people. And to see people at Walmart, I see the fear and I see the concern, and there's so much of me that just wants to reach out and give people hugs and let them know that it's going to be okay, even though I can't guarantee it's going to be okay. So Bria says, showing our love for our loved ones is staying away from them. How weird. That's so true. God, I raised great kids. They're so wise. I hope I'm as wise as my kids when I grow up. So, so I'm here just to kind of interact with you and let you guys know that you're not alone. You're definitely not alone. So I love you, Bria. Thank you. We're all feeling it. And like I said, shopping, you could cut the tension with a knife. It was crazy. I've never experienced something like that. Driving through town and the streets are empty. This is Donette, welcome. Part of my community too. So, and I appreciate you guys so much. It's there again, we're so interconnected, and it's so important that we stay connected in the time of isolation to let each other know that it's okay to be fearful. So Darlene says, so agree. You could say I'm giving you an air hug. I'm giving you an air hug back. So much love for you guys. So really, even though I'm here with no real topic and I'm scared. So those of you who followed me 2 years ago from Dirt Patch Heaven, if Julie, oh, Lasha, welcome, hello. I hope I didn't butcher your name there. But Julie, if she couldn't make it onto our duel because I was so terrible at videos and so uncomfortable, I would just freak out and I'd be like a deer in the headlights and I'd want to push that off button. And I kind of have that feeling tonight, even though I've been doing this for 2 years, because I didn't come with a topic. I don't have anything to keep my hands busy. And for those of you guys who know, I'm not normally a sharer. I don't come in here and talk. I drop my knowledge bomb and my verbal garbage, whatever comes out of my mouth, and then I leave and then I move on with life because I'm busy. So, but relationships are so important these days. And I thought that I'd reach out because you guys are my community, even though I haven't met, well, I met some of you guys face to face, which has been super cool. So Darlene says, hey, just talking is good. Thank you, because I feel really uncomfortable doing this. If you meet me in real life, I definitely will engage in conversation, but unless I have something meaningful to say, more than not, I'll just kind of stand there and stare at you with these big doe eyes and socially awkward, I would guess. So, but then it's so weird because I'm so missing the socialness of my life. And so I really feel for those that are not socially awkward, that are not naturally hermits. So Mike says, we're all glad you're here. I'm so glad you're here. And it always makes me smile to see you when you join and comment. You guys mean a ton to me. So, okay, where am I going with this whole random garbage of my train of thought that really isn't compiled? So Tom says, that's okay. Thank you. And see, I like Facebook because I can drop my funny memes or whatever little bit of my life and then move on. And it's not like a 15-minute or half an hour engagement where I've got to actually go beyond that. And then I like this format, the live format, because there is a back and forth. And if you guys have any questions, please ask me questions because I would love to answer questions rather than me just sitting here staring at my phone. But so what am I doing these days? Welcome to the apocalypse, guys. So Bria says, how am I doing? I'm doing good. All things considered, I am also doing good. So I'm not fearful. That's something that I do want to go on record and tell you guys that even though this virus is unknown and we're being told to expect some really awful reports coming out of really coast to coast. And honestly, guys, for the first time it's hit my community. We've got a handful of positive cases. It's just going to grow. It's just going to grow. And there's nothing we can really do per se other than what we are actively doing. Cookbook Homestead, hey there, welcome. I'm so glad you guys are joining me. So keep up your good hygiene. I mean, I know that goes without saying. We should be doing that on a standard day anyway. It's weird keeping distance between people, but I guess that's what we have to do these days. To show love and to show community is to keep arm's length. So Gagney Farms, welcome from Michigan. Oh, how cool. You guys are popping in from all over the place. This is so exciting. So I'm in New Mexico, and just so you guys know where I'm at. So this is the neat thing about social media is even though we're all sitting in our living rooms or bedrooms so thank goodness we have our YouTube community. Amen, right? Because this is something unique. Back when there was plagues back in biblical history or even the 1918 flu that went through, people when they had to isolate, they were very much isolated. Like they had nobody. And so at least we have this outlet. This has been a blessing that not only for me and my community, but you guys in your own personal communities. No, I'm not going to read that, but Darlene, the answer is no. Hey, Kathy. So welcome from North Star Prepstetter. So at least we have each other in this capacity, and so we're not so necessarily alone, and we can tell each other that we're not alone. So, oh, I love seeing you guys talk to each other, dude. It's such a neat thing because this is not just about me and you guys. It's about you guys with each other too, because we are all so interconnected. So do know that this is going to pass. We're not alone, Kathy. No, we are so not alone. So this is going to pass and it's going to be hard, but we're going to get through it. So Tom says it will be fine. We get more resistant strains every year. I think we will gain better habits. And watch that. Yeah. I think too. I think we're going to come out of this better. And I think that this is actually, I was telling a friend today that with all bad comes good. And so we've got an opportunity to really kind of, we're isolated and we're able to reanalyze our lives. We're looking at our priorities. What's really important? Was the life that I was living and the things that I were doing and the things that I were spending my time and resources on, is that really in the big picture important? And I'm seeing a real refocus. So a societal reboot. I kind of like that, yeah? Me too. I see it that way, and it's not a bad thing, guys. So Darlene says, I've sent masks to my mom and stepdad and told her to stay in as much as possible. That's good. It's here. And if it's not down where your mom is, it's going to be there soon. And Lord willing, we're all going to be okay. I know that's not the truth. Life and death, guys. That's very real on the homestead. I see it. I'm very much hands-on, a part with the life and death cycle. It's given me a lot of peace. It's given me a lot of peace. thankfully, because situations like this, oh, Shannon's here. Thank you. So Quebec Homestead says we were prioritizing our wedding and we decided to cancel and get infrastructures and more animals instead. Excellent choice. The enabler in me will tell you that animals and infrastructure are, you can't put a price tag on them. I mean, you can put a price tag on them, but their value is far exponentially higher than the actual price tag. So let's see, what did Kathy say? I've been self-isolating since March 4th, so glad you have peace. Thanks. That doesn't mean that I'm not concerned. Off Kilter Homestead, awesome. All the cool kids are joining us tonight. So endeavor as far as the unknown. And I think that goes for all of us. I mean, if we knew what was going to happen, if we knew it was going to be us, if we knew it was going to be our kids, if we knew it was going to be our parents, we could make peace with that. And I think that that's probably a good idea regardless of the situation, is tell your loved ones that you love them. Tell them how important they are. Do meaningful things. Do things that bring value to your life. Really invest in yourself, because you're important. And we as a society, we give all sorts of love to one another and not a lot of self-love. So be sure to take care of you, because if you're not taking care of you, you can't take care of others, because it's this whole cycle, guys. I mean, we are, again, to that interconnectedness. I can't take care of my kids if I'm sick. And I mean, it's a community thing. Okay, so is there any questions for me, guys? So what am I doing? I am planting seeds like crazy. I think that goes, I think globally, we're all going, oh my goodness, our supply chain is delicate and food is kind of important. And if trucks aren't running and farmers aren't farming and grocery store workers aren't doing their thing, and if we're all freaking out, our system is kind of delicate. So Bria says, I always fear the unknown. Live life the way you want to see life around you. I like that. Okay, thank you. It took me a minute to process that. So, okay, so I'm planting seeds like crazy because that's just what I do. And that's a form of peace that I found, is taking control to the best degree that I can. Not that I have any control over, this lighting is driving me crazy, guys. I am so OCD about this. So Darlene says, we went on a drive today, but just felt weird being out. So just cut it short. Yeah, it's kind of, life has changed around us and all of our daily activities feel different. Joseph said, you planted my beans. No, we have a chance of freezing until middle of May, but I'm seeing things popping up that normally wouldn't be popping up this time of year. So I'm gonna get out there and plant your beans like probably tomorrow, and I am ridiculously excited because you guys, Joseph sent me these beans. They're red sword beans. They're literally, the pods are like this big. The beans themselves are like that big around. I am so excited. Oh, and that's part of this whole community thing. And really said she planted a bee and butterfly garden. Oh, neat. Okay, off kilter lighting says, look, lighting looks fine. No worries, thank you, because I feel like I'm very ghost-like on this side of my face. So Kathy's talking to Darlene. I love you guys talking to each other. So cool. Okay, so yeah, I'm planting like crazy. I have zero control over what actually germinates when I plant a seed, or if the insects come in and decimate my garden, or if I run out of, well, I do have some control over running out of water, but more than not, I have no control over running out of water, but I can control what I put in the ground. And I have found that if I put something in the ground, generally I will be able to harvest something, but it's an action. There is something required out of me. It's not a passive thing. And I appreciate that. I like putting effort into something and then reaping rewards. It's much more fruitful than reaping rewards when there was no effort on your own part. In fact, I think that's what creates entitlement, that we have this expectation of constant rewards with no work. And so the gardening and homesteading has really been a positive in that way, in that there's delayed gratification and that you have to have a lot of faith, and that it's really this major act of optimism that you're going to do work now and then you wait and then your reward is later. And that's much like our walk here on this planet with our spiritual walk, is you do the work and you get rewarded later. And All connected, all connected. So let's see here. I am going to scroll. Sorry for the finger there. So Kathy says it's sunshine that I've seen very little of this winter. Enjoy it. I love the sunshine. So Joseph says, got a couple of them up. Miss Mary should be shelling some. Yeah, Joseph shared with my favorite seed lady, Mary, too, and I've been watching her adventure. She's in a very different climate than I am, and that's something neat about all of us on this YouTube community because we're all over the place, so we're experiencing different things at different times, but on the same path. So it's this really cool support network. And there again, you got to say, have patience, wait, because here will be your fruits if you just go the distance. So, oh, thank you, Christopher. Inconvenient Skills says, everyone hit the like button, please. I always forget or self-promote or, I don't know. I'm terrible at this YouTube stuff. Ecocentric Homestead says, hello, peeps. Welcome, guys. So this is so neat. So Bria said, already liked it. Thank you, kiddo. So I've got my agenda on the day-to-day hasn't changed that much. I'm still working, and my crew is amazing. They're showing up every day at our steel business, not because they have to, but because they want to. And I'm concerned about them too. I'm concerned about all of us that are out there doing what needs to be done in order to keep society running. I'm thankful for those that are able to work from home. I'm on both ends of that paradigm because I'm out in the community and I have a crew working and I'm also semi-cocooning. And it's this very surreal, very weird experience. And I told a friend that, well, first of all, this apocalypse sucks, and this is not at all what I expected as a prepper. But it's this very weird dynamic between total normalcy and total panic. Like you're just waiting for this ball to drop, and you see it coming, and you just don't know how bad it's going to be. But then everything seems so normal, but it's not normal at all, and this has been so odd. And I think that adds to the complexity of the situation is because none of us quite know how to react to it. Like if a bomb went off in the middle of town, we'd all know how to respond to that. But since this is something we can't really see, you can feel the concern, but nobody can really put their thumb on it. So off kilter, thank you for asking questions. Yeah, and thank you for taking me on to a totally different topic. So a question about living in arid conditions. Have you thought about cultural irrigation? Can you please tell me about Zorbies, because I've never heard of them. So what I do have going as far as trying to grow food in an extremely arid, we get, I think, well, I guess I'm not extremely arid. We get about 2 or so on average per month, and then we get the majority of it over our summer monsoons. So July and August tend to be our water heavy months. June, just because nature is a bitch, June is super dry and super hot. And so I start my garden about now, and then I've really got little babies going April and May, and then I spend June watering like crazy, trying to keep everything alive so that I don't kill it. Okay, little polymer beads that hydrate 100 times their size to dispense water slowly and evenly. I'll have to look into that because I think that would be a good addition. So Tom says, family, I was just talking about the former workplace with my former boss there today and how a lot of us keep in touch. That's so cool, and it's so important to keep in touch. So as far as my garden goes, so June is by far my worst month as far as water usage and also water production. I have a well, it's a low producing well. It, on average, on a good day, is giving me about half a gallon a minute, which sounds like a lot of water, but it really isn't when you're doing things like laundry and watering a garden and taking care of livestock and bathing and all of the day-to-day needs that water, because literally water is everything. You can't do anything without water practically. So June is pretty hard, and it's not unusual for me to run my tank pretty dry. It's not unusual for me to sacrifice my garden in June. So it would be cool if there was some options in order to help boost my water retention. I have raised beds because I have little to no soil. We are clay, caliche, rock. You can go out there and kick my soil surface and get down maybe 1/4 of an inch, and then, I mean, that's it. I've been actively working on building my soil for the last 7 years thanks to livestock. I couldn't do it without livestock, but I do have raised beds and they're 100% compost. It's not really dirt. And so they're really good about water retention. And I work on adding things like newspapers and leaves and things that when they start breaking down, they're really slick. So, but I like the idea of adding those beads. So Ecocentric says, with being arid, you get a lot of sun. I'm wishing I had a lot more sun now. Oh yeah, solar panels do great here. Great, because yeah, we are sunny most all the time. Even on our rainy days, we are sunny throughout the morning because that's our monsoons. Typically the weather patterns at that point, the humidity, we get these great big thunderstorms and it's just beautiful, but it's pretty religious every afternoon, July and August. I just got to survive through June to get there. So let's see. Yeah, please make video of slaughtering a duck under the feet with my knife. I've got all these Middle East guys that follow me. I'm pretty sure I'm in a fetish group about killing animals, which is cool. I get a lot of views, so thank you guys. But they always ask on all my videos for me to kill things. I'm a homesteader. That's how I get my meat. But I'm not killing anything right now, mostly because I've got a freezer full of meat that I'm processing through. I do have some rabbits I need to do. I will do a video on those at some point. I'm sure I'll get a lot of hate condemnation on that because, you know, cute fluffy bunnies and all. But if you guys haven't considered meat rabbits for your homesteads, highly recommend them, even if you're living in the city, because I get more meat off of one rabbit by far. And you can keep them in hutches where chickens require a little more space to run around and do their scratching. So highly recommend rabbits, and I will kill some at some point, and I will video it, and I'm okay with whatever hate comes because you guys need the information on how to do this because we've lost these skills. We've seriously lost these skills, and it's important to share with our new generation. And so to go back to that, Noah says hi. Hey, Noah. And yes, you can have a kitten, but you got to check with your dad. So Off Kilter says, we want them, just have to get through the mental block of eating rabbits. I have got to tell you that my first time eating it, and it had nothing to do with the meat itself, it was all mental and emotional. And I was okay with that because that was also our first home-raised meat meal, and it should be an emotional journey. This is driving me crazy. Okay, I need to stop looking at myself. So because raising meat it's a heavy responsibility, and you should put love and care and compassion into your animals. And it shouldn't be something that you do cold-hearted and flippantly and just go out there and harvest meat with no thought involved into it. So it should be hard. So Off Kilter said, yep, tasted great. It was just hard to eat. Ask for more bunny, please. Yeah. So, oh, good. Chris says it's not too bright on this end. Good, because I feel like I look like Casper on my end. So, and that's not hard. Okay, so Quebec says, that's awesome that you do those videos even though YouTube pushes them down. Yeah, actually I did that chicken slaughter video and I'm surprised at the amount of views that it gets and that YouTube hasn't like hit me with community standards or some sort of complaints or something. But so Ecocentric says, rabbit tastes great, wild caught snowshoe hares are better. I've never had wild caught. I have cottontails and jackrabbits around here. I would say in abundance, but my cats and my dogs have been picking them off, and I'm okay with that because they carry fleas and ticks, and I don't want them interacting with, they can't get to my domestic rabbits, but they can get underneath them, and so there's all sorts of nasty diseases that are transmitted that are tick and flea borne, and so if my dogs and cats are keeping the wild rabbits at bay, I'm totally good with that. I have no problem with that. But yeah, rabbit is by far my most productive meat source, my preferred meat source. It's my easiest. It's probably my cheapest to raise. You could do it quietly. Most city covenants and restrictions don't have, or codes and whatever, your codes, but they don't have any sort of ordinances against rabbit typically. So you may want to check. You may get into some trouble as far as they are considered pets in some communities, but if you're raising meat rabbits, I think that you can get away with that. So, but do check what's legally allowed in your communities. And in fact, even though I'm out in the county, I frequently check with my city animal control because I do write a weekly column encouraging people to raise food. And so I want to make sure that they're within their legal boundaries and I'm not encouraging them to do something that could get them in trouble. And it's funny that we as food raisers is like an act of rebellion because it's become so uncommon and people think it's so weird to do things like butcher chickens, even though it's not weird to go to the grocery store and buy a chicken. But so yeah, I'm glad that I have this platform to be able to put out information to you guys and help you and encourage you on your way, because I was not familiar with these skills when I was a new homesteader, and I had to learn, and it was an awkward learning process and uncomfortable. So if I can help share and make it easier for one person, I'm down with that. And in fact, all these videos, that's my goal, is if I could share with one person and it touches one person or helps one person, I've done my job. So I don't care about ratings or views. I get excited to see it, and I've been tracking it, but really, honestly, and when it comes down to it, that's not what I'm doing it for. So let's see. Quebec says, I'd love to stay, but I need to get a video out tomorrow. Oh, yeah, keep your momentum up, edit, share your magic, because we're touching lives. We're encouraging people. So, oh, and says, I'll just leave you running while I'm editing. Thank you. So yeah, as I was sharing with friends the other day, again, it's all interconnected community, and it's important to stay in touch. And right now especially, we're out there trying to encourage a whole new group of homesteaders and food raisers and people who are living in insecure times, both economically, which I think is a natural. We turn inward to providing food when we are facing economic insecurity, because let's face it, food and shelter are hot priorities in our lives, guys. So we as YouTube homesteaders, it's a mission. And so if we can touch one life, encourage one person, and have one person plant one seed because of something we said, we've done our jobs. So it's not about the ratings, it's not about the views, it's not about any of that crap. It's about sharing and encouraging and growing. Okay, guys, so I'm 27 minutes in. I am shocked that I even had 27 minutes of stuff to say. So let's see. What breed have you found the best for meat rabbits? I personally raise Californians. I didn't do a ton of research into it. At the time, I was a brand wild, and then I got this wild decision that I was going to add meat to my homestead. I started feeling some sort of conscientious pull towards that I needed to be able to look my meat in the eye, and if I couldn't take its life and raise it from young to my plate and do that within my own realm of life, that maybe I needed to reanalyze my choices. And so I found, this is how I tend to operate. And so Tom says, thank you, I enjoyed it. Talk to you later. Thanks for joining me, Tom. So I found 2 cages, used cages for sale on a local group that had feeders and waterers, and they were a great deal. And so I was thinking to myself, it wouldn't hurt as a prepper to have this on hand just in case. And so I bought them, and then I went to my local feed store and bought 5 pounds of rabbit feed. The owner of the feed mill laughed at me because I told him I was going to raise meat rabbits, and he says, oh honey, he says, you're not going to be buying 5-pound bags for long. And he says, so when you're really raising meat rabbits, we've got 50-pounders. And so that was good to know. And then I brought home these cages and this rabbit feed, and my husband looked at me and he's like, what are you doing? And I said, well, you just never know. And then about a week later, she's now become a great friend of mine, but somebody posted in a local group that she was selling rabbits. That was back before Facebook Nazis took over and you could actually post animals for sale. That was a great place to find livestock. It's really sad that we don't have that resource anymore, because you could interact with your potential livestock source, you could ask questions, you could see pictures. We've lost that resource, which is really sad. But anyway, so this woman, she posted they were pet rabbits, and then somebody had asked something about other breeds of rabbits, and she said that she had Californians, which were meat rabbits. And I got all excited and told her that I was looking for meat rabbits. And so I went up, and she was wonderful. She was so patient with me. She was so kind, because here I am, brand new newbie. I had been researching rabbits for about 6 months, not necessarily breeds, but how to care for them and raise them. Still had no clue what I was doing. So I had these 2 little wire cages that were totally inappropriately sized for this giant rabbit that I brought home. And I ended up connecting them face to face. Their doors were open and she could go between the 2, but that left me no access to actually get in and do things like change out her food bowl. Even if you do research, there's going to be learning curves on every animal. But anyways, so the Californians, they're really big, meaty chunks of, I mean, they're like rabbit bricks. Mine grow up to be about 10 pounds, 8 to 10 pounds on average. I'm harvesting somewhere between 3 to 5 pounds of meat per rabbit. When it was my family of 5, one rabbit, like I said earlier in the show, I have adult kids that have since moved on, but at the time that we were raising them actively, like really fully producing, and I was feeding my family a ton of rabbit, one rabbit would feed my family of 5 3 different meals with leftovers. So it was this really great source with low hands-on. Hello, beautiful, glad you're safe. Oh, thank you, I appreciate hearing that. Glad you're safe too. In fact, all of you guys that are out there, prayers for continued health and safety. So yeah, so I went with Californians, and I've just kind of, if it's not broke, don't fix it kind of a philosophy. I've added velveteen lops at one point. They were super cute. They are like English lops, so they've got those really long floppy ears, but they are crossbred with Rex, so they have the Rex coat. I was raising them with the thought and theory that I was going to tan their hides and make a blanket, but my plate is so full. It was one of those things that I just kept pushing off. And so I had a freezer full of pelts that I was doing nothing with. I ended up using them underneath my fruit trees for added fertilizer. So they didn't go to waste, but I never actually utilized their pelts. I was recently given some Rex, which they're the full-size Rex, not mini. And they've got that beautiful soft pelt, but they're also meat rabbits. And I did breed them. The doe killed all her kits. I'm going to give her one more try. If it doesn't go well, then I'm just going to eat them too. But so far, Californians have treated me well. I've had them for 7 years and produced a ton of meat with them, so I can highly recommend them. They tend to be a little bitchy, like they're not the nicest of rabbits, but that's okay because I'm not out there cuddling them. I don't need them to be cute and cuddly pets because they are livestock. I am able to reach in and touch them. They're not that flighty where they don't freak out, but that's probably because I'm hands-on with them every day. But that's part of my feeding process is I feed them, water them, and then run my hand down their spine just to check condition to make sure. Oftentimes with rabbits, when they've got some sort of health issue, you're not going to see it in them physically, but you can, if you can feel their bones, and that's what standard health check, you just run your hand down their spine, and if they feel nice and full, then they're healthy, and if you're bony, you've got a problem. So, but that's what I went with was Californians, and like I said, they treat us well. We'll see how the Rex do. Rex tend to be slower growing over Californians. So because Californians are considered a commercial meat breed, they are specifically bred to grow fast. Kind of think Cornish game hens or Cornish cross of the rabbit world. So only they don't get all sick and disgusting and not move like Cornish cross do. But yeah, so if you're looking for a meat breed specifically, there's all sorts of commercial. So the Californians, Christopher says, I want more rabbits. Oh, yeah, I'm seriously, if I could only do one animal, it would be the rabbits, because not only are they fantastic as far as providing meat, but they've got this abundant source of poop. It's Gardner's black gold. You cannot beat. I'm trying to think of other commercial meat breeds. I know there's like damn it, guys. I would normally think about this, but I'm a little all over the place with, the apocalypse and everything. So I know there's Florida whites. There is, what's the white one? Christopher, what's the just white rabbit? It's not Californian. I like the Californians because he's got these black ears. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with Californians in general, but they're thermosensitive. And so their colors will vary throughout the year. And they bleach out over the summer. And so their ears and their nose and their dewlaps get real white. Bree says, gotta go. It's nice talking to you. Love you. It's nice to see you too. Stay safe, kiddo. Love you. So, but yeah, the Californians, because they're always changing, and that's something I do like about them. So highly recommend them for this too, because in the winter, wherever it is cold, so their extremities, their paws, they got eyebrows, which is just hilarious. So they get little Groucho Marx rabbits. Super fun. So yeah, I would recommend Californians just for that, just because they're kind of always changing, and you don't get that with other rabbits. Okay, let's see, guys. I'm 35 minutes into this. I didn't even think I had 35 minutes of stuff to talk about. Yeah, the red-eyed whites. What are those guys? My mind is blank. So my Californians also have red eyes, but they've got kind of blue around it. That red eye kind of is creepy for some people. I do like rabbits that are all kind of a standard. So Californians, I'm not getting all these cool colors and designs and where I fall in love with like, oh, I love this little one. They all look the same. It's easy to picture. So Donette says, we're thinking of starting rabbits again and researching goat breeds. Black Angus is becoming too large for me to handle by myself. I get that. Food raising journey is be open to change. And you'll see that in this comments here, is a lot of us have gone in and out of different livestock, and it changes with the seasons of life. Sometimes things are right for you and then life changes. And thank you, that's the other breed. So thank you, Christopher. So yeah, those tend to be the standard commercial breeds, is the New Zealand's and Californians. And so when you have people talking about meat rabbits, often those are the two that are referred to. But yeah, so ducks. That was one. I love ducks. That was my second one. So, oh, look at Kinder Goats, awesome dual purpose breed. Okay. I've got mutt goats, but they treat me well. My battery keeps warning me that it's dying, so I'm down to 10%. So, well, you guys have hung with me. Thank you. I didn't even think, I was nervous just sitting here. I was like, I have nothing to say, and this is going to be awkward and nobody's going to join me and I'm just going to hang up. So thanks for joining me, guys. So let's see. Christopher says, I raised Flemish, but they were expensive to feed. Yeah, those are really cool. Those are those like gigantic rabbits, and I've seen them, and they what, get like maybe 20 pounds or so, Christopher? But I know that they're real slow growing, as that's a cool novelty. And I think a lot of us, and it may not necessarily be the most productive thing. And so when you take a step back and analyze, I think we come at things a little smarter. So yeah, ducks was my animal. I love ducks. It's one of my favorites as far as personality and just seeing them running around, and love ducks. They're super messy. Christopher says not great meat to feed ratio on the Flemish Giants. I've heard that too. I've heard that they're big boned. So bigger isn't always better. I don't know. But so ducks has been my in and out of, and so I've got ducks again, but I've reformatted my system. I got smarter, and that happened. So when you're able to step back and analyze, sometimes if you're in the thick of it, it's hard to analyze, but if you can step back and be calm and take a breath of fresh air and then come back at it, so things are easier. So okay, Darlene said, had so much fun being here. I'm so glad you guys joined me. So again, I just want to come on, tell you guys that you're not alone. We are community. It's okay to be afraid if you are afraid. It's seek peace, because fear does no good for us. But you can do active, productive things to find your peace, and plant a seed, grow some food, take control of your life, because that definitely brings peace. I thank you for joining me. Mike, take care. Much love to you guys. So I will see you on the flip side here. I'm not exactly sure what my next video is going to be. I do have lots of things I need to do, so I will try and bring you along with me. I think maybe for the next couple weeks, I might even just set you guys up and let you watch me feed my chickens or some crap. So just because I think we all need a dose of joy. So all right. Well, guys, take care. Much love for you, and we'll see you later. Bye.